And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are live at PrisonPlanet.tv, now simulcasting for the final 2 hours of this 4-hour transmission. I am here Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 12 noon to 4 p.m. Eastern. And we appreciate everybody joining us. I'm finishing up with the editor and writer at Infowars.com, Kurt Nimmo. Great political mind and researcher. Believe me, we've looked for folks that can work in our operation. They're few and far between. Kurt's one of them. Other folks seem to always have flaws or blind spots when it comes to researching the New World Order. I'm sad to say I wish our numbers were greater of those that have a really deep understanding. And, of course, another person I found out there who I, for years, watched and researched and decided to be a member of the team, and we're honored to have him, Paul Watson, now for 6 years. And he runs PrisonPlanet.com, PrisonPlanet.tv with his brother Steve Watson. That also does a fine job. Finishing up in this segment, the next, and I got another guest coming on, and I appreciate your time, gentlemen. Paul Watson. I want to shift gears now into, because if we just cover this by itself, it doesn't bring the full import of what we're facing. They are creating class warfare and envy. And in the U.S., in England, they have similar programs. They say, does your neighbor look like they have more money than they should? Find out what job they've got. Ask them what their salary is and call police. You'll get a percentage of anything seized from black market business, garage sale money, coin collections they've sold, drugs, and this is all under Homeland Security here and in England. They're taking the anti-terror system they've set up and the spy networks. They sell the public on, we're going to have spies, we need citizens tattling, we're listening to your phones without warrants, but it's to fight Al-Qaeda. You don't want Al-Qaeda to attack, do you? You saw 7/7, you saw 9/11. Now they just admit here in the U.S. and overseas, spy on your neighbors, spy on gun owners. If your neighbor has a gun, call the police on them, the billboards say, when the guns aren't illegal. I mean, it's getting bad. And guys, pull this up on screen for folks that are watching at PrisonPlanet.tv. It says, police encourage citizens to report people who drive nice cars. I want them to see the picture of the police chiefs and people smiling like criminals. I mean, they know this is asinine. It's a big joke to them. If you criticize open borders, you'll be arrested. It shows on here a poster of a guy in a suit saying, too much bling, give us a ring. And it says, bling, call the police immediately if your neighbor has a boat or a nice car. It says, in this recession, you're not supposed to have money. Paul Watson, this is creating class warfare. This is communism. This is what the Reds did. They said, arrest your neighbor. He's rich. Get him. Paul, it's happening. I can't even believe this.
Well, top political scientists are now just saying that the UK is a totalitarian state. There's no doubt about it anymore. And this is a campaign by Gloucestershire Police Force, who incidentally were the same police force who arrested Robin Page for saying that farming groups should have the same rights as Muslims and homosexuals. They're also the same police force that set up Operation Napkin, which was where they sent out police officers to sit in curry houses and spy on people's conversations to check if they said any racial terms, and arrests were made.
Who is this demon in the middle? I mean, he looks like the epitome of a thug, of a jackboot. I mean, that guy would be, if I was a big filmmaker making a new 1984, he would be an inter-party official. I mean, I would come to him and say, we want to cast you as a piece of absolute degenerate, parasitical trash.
It looks like the chief constable to me, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a campaign put out by the police, which encourages people to report on other citizens who drive nice cars or buy expensive items.
This is just meant to get everybody tattling on everybody. Stay there, Paul. One more segment. I want to get Kurt Nimmo's take on this. And they're doing the same stuff here. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, they are moving on everybody full force. They're not just saying Michael Savage will be arrested if he comes to England. I mean, they're going after me. They're shutting me off everywhere. I mean, we're under attack because these people mean to make us their slaves, and they know that some of us aren't going along with it. Little punk.
532202.
At the end of the show today, I'm going to announce 2 new films That's a little surprise. 2 new films that we've made in the last month here, very quietly. So that's coming up at the end of the show today. The next segment, Reclaiming the Blade. Amazing film. This sucker, just you can't put it down. And no, we're not selling it, but we ought to. So that's coming up. Then your calls continually in the last hour, just blitzing your phone calls. Here's one of the new films. Going to be showing that to folks later at the end of the show. So wait for that surprise. Very proud of my crew and what they've done, everybody here together. Okay, in closing, I'm obnoxious and I'm not letting Kurt Nimmo and Paul Watson talk because everything they say freaks me out and makes me want to expose more stuff I'm thinking of because it's so incredible that we're actually going into real tyranny. Paul Watson, closing comments on the censorship, the attack on free speech. England saying spy on your neighbors if they're wearing nice jewelry. They show a picture of a guy with a boat in his yard and say, call the cops if your neighbor has things that are nice. Ask them questions about what they make. I mean, you know, they've done the bait and switch from this is for terrorism to this is for tax collection. This is getting bad.
They're basically trying to get the population all suspicious of each other. And so, you know, it creates a kind of self-regulation of the Stasi police state. The previous poster campaigns put out by the London Metropolitan Police say that the people who look at CCTV cameras are suspicious. People that own mobile phones, computers, white vans, and people who live in apartments are suspicious and potentially terrorists. People who return items bought at a store and get a refund on their credit card are potential terrorists. And the list goes on and on. We've got a link to those previous articles. So basically they're just classifying the whole population as potential terrorists so that everybody watches and informs on each other and creates this Stasi state that they want.
Well, that was certainly well said. And again, this isn't close to classical hardcore tyranny. This is overblown. I mean, this is the real McCoy. If this was wrestling, this is The Rock. This is Hulk Hogan. This is, you know, Andre the Giant. I mean, this is Hitler level. This is Stalin level. This is Mao level, what they're attempting. There's no doubt. Okay? Folks, I'm not just saying that. And we didn't just say this was an engineered flu virus. It's now come out it clearly was. Kurt Nimmo.
And as well, this whole paranoia, this social paranoia they're engendering, you know, complements their electronic police state that they're putting in, you know, where everything you do, every website you go to, every credit card transaction you make, every cell phone call you make is put into a database. So, you know, this complements that as well. And, you know, it's just the next level that they're ratcheting up. And what's going on in England is going to end up coming here sooner or later.
No, it's already here. Remember a year ago when they announced huge cash bonuses for tattling on your neighbors and spies to spy for the IRS, and that the IRS no longer has to have warrants, and that it was going to increase its enforcers, but only on blue collar and middle class. None, literally almost none for the rich.
Yeah, but it's really in your face over there. They've got posters and stuff, you know, where they're telling you to spy on your neighbors.
No, I know. I agree with you, Kurt. I agree. I mean, England's about 3-4 years ahead of us. Watson, you got to get out of there. As bad as the U.S. is, you got to get over here, bro. I mean, that place, they're now announcing they're going to arrest everybody. This is out of the Wisconsin news. Court rules secret GPS tracking without a warrant is now legal. And they say no more warrants for cops to stick GPS on your car. On top of that, England has announced what we said. Not only will satellite tracker boxes be in all your cars taxing you by the mile, up to £1 a mile. That's $2 a mile, basically, or almost $2. They're now announcing it will regulate and control your car's speed with automatic shutoff for the police. That's right. BBC. I mean, and they're now announcing it here. I mean, my God, the government remote controlling your car is Big Brother, folks. Cameras in school bathrooms. That's why I'm free. Paul Watson.
Well, the good news is, Alex, the harder they push, the more people see what's happening around them. Case in point, regarding the internet again, Lycos.com, top 50 searches. You've got Facebook, Wikipedia, Drudge Report, Twitter. Who else is on there? Alex Jones, Infowars, GCN Live, Steve Quayle. So in the top 50 searches,